Okay, welcome everyone. Sorry for the break in transmission. I was trying to install that, then I was talking, then just thank you for coming. All right. Okay, so today, we will continue in our series of data annotation. We are taking a practical class, and then I'm going to be teaching us how to annotate data sets morphologically. So basically, last week, I explained about multimodal data annotation. We saw an introduction to how to use ELAN for data annotation. And then one of the aim of this course is actually to teach people of all this community, at least to start with, is to teach people how to be in NLP without necessarily coding or doing the technical stuff. So the idea is, how do linguists communicate in NLP, natural language processing of the tech world? So what is my relevance as a linguist in technology? So it's not aiming to turn a linguist into a computer scientist, but rather the readily available skills, turning the readily available skills into something tangible. All right, so that is why I'm taking. So after this session, we're going to be talking about corpus linguistics. But for now, let's look into data annotation. So last week I explained multimodal data annotation. Next week I'm going to revisit it, and I'm going to be talking about how to do sign language annotation. But for today, we are progressing. I want to finish everything because once I'm done, I'm going to go over the instrument again and then explain all the nitty-gritties behind them. And perhaps at the end of the course, we'll talk about how do I find a job as a linguist. All right, so morphological annotation. There are different languages that are very rich morphologically, and the degrees to their morphology richness it actually varies. Bantu languages are richer than let's say the Kwa languages like Igbo, like Yoruba, and some other even Semitic languages like Hausa. All right. So now the degrees to their richness does not deny the fact that they actually have morphology. We all agree as linguists that languages have morphology. So because languages have morphology, then we have to learn how to annotate languages morphology. And then, so why do we really have to annotate languages morphology? We have to annotate languages morphologically, sorry, because we all know that the syntax is not just syntax, it is a conglomeration of a lot of levels. All right. I'm saying that the word boy is not just boy in itself, but the boy is singing. It's not just the boy is singing, but boy is singing, coming together to form the boy is singing as in syntax. Because the approach that has been in the literature over time largely has been part of speech tagging. And then part of speech tagging is good and fantastic. But unfortunately, languages do not communicate structurally alone, they communicate morphologically. If you read latest research that like Kane and Chris, where they explain syntax as morphology. And then even scholars like Maurice Ali actually talk about distributive morphology, talking about nanosyntax. So in the real sense of it, we can understand the structure by looking at the unit. And then in this case, I'm looking at not the unit as in the unit of sound as in phoneme, but the unit of the sentence in itself. All right. So in unit 2, we talk about data annotation, data collection, how to collect data. Maybe I will revisit it in another video, but for now, let's take it as we understood what data annotation is and data collection. When you are collecting data, you are trying to understand morphologically or syntactically how to build data sets. So when we build data sets, we don't just build data sets, we build data sets for different reasons. And then if we tag languages morphologically, we can go into the nitty-gritty of each form. What Leipzig rule we say morpheme by morpheme glossing, right? So morpheme by morpheme glossing is applicable here. Different researchers have applied it in some languages like German, but I've not really read a paper that applied it to African languages. And then, as I've explained earlier in the first unit of this course, we are going to be doing a project. Hopefully, we get to publish it or we get a grant for it. I don't know yet. I'm still working on it. But after we do morphological tagging, I'm gonna show us other places to other projects we have to work on. All right. So if we capture languages morphologically again, we can deal with tone morph. You know what tone morphs are? Tone morphology. That's tone morph is a morpheme that changes the meaning of a word, right? And then or should I say it's a grammatical tone. that could do a lot of things. Like I know in Yoruba, we can say Ola, we can say Sanya. Lord, that is Sanya, is a name of a person. Lord means go. That is Sanya is low tone, law is a mid tone. Now, if we want to conjugate it to show grammatically that it is Sanya that went, you will say Sanya law. That ya, which is a high tone, low becoming low high, it's a tomo. And its grammatical function is that it's marking Sanya as a subject of the sentence. Now, there are different approaches that could actually affect these things, but that is just a surface analysis. If you go deeper to different languages, like Kinyarwanda, like Zulu, like even Igbo language is rich morphologically too, compared to what you experience in Yoruba, right? So that is what we are doing today. Now, so because we are not developers, I am not going to be teaching us how to do it in Python or in R or whatever language. I'm going to be teaching us how to do it in a linguistic software called Flex. So let's head over to Flex. So if you click Flex, let me show you what Flex looks like. Huh? Let's go to desktop. So this is what Flex looks like. Sorry, this is Flex. Sorry, I'm trying to look for it. Flex, if you can see my screen, then trying to go here. Well, anyway, if you download Flex, I would show that later. You would see this. You would see this immediately. You open it, you would see this window. Now, this window basically means that you want to either work on a new project you want to create, or you want to start a new project, or you want to open a project you have been working on. Maybe you stopped it and you started again. All right, so for now, I'm going to create a project. It's going to load. You're going to wait for it to load, okay? So basically, we are discussing how to tag languages morphologically, morphology, or how to work on. And why do we have to do that? Because there are salient information, pieces of information that we can't take care of if you are teaching, if you are annotating language syntactically. So it's gonna load. So where is it? So when it's loaded, it will bring this new project page. So I want to give it a name. Let me say NLP for link, NLP for linguist. So we're gonna click next. All right, so when I click next, it's gonna show me vernacular. Apologies for using the term vernacular because our language is not actually vernacular. So the vernacular is actually the language you are working on. Let's say you are working between English and Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa or French. Your vernacular language is Yoruba or French. Your glossing language, that's the language you want to gloss in, is the language is the analysis language. In this case, I'm just gonna choose. So I'm gonna click choose. It's gonna open another page. This time around, it wants me to type in the language. So I'm gonna type in Yoruba. I will see different Yorubas here, right? So, but this time around, I want Yoruba as in Yoruba Arab. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna pick one, huh? So Yoruba, or you use Yo and then click OK. So it's chose Yoruba. Now we are done. So I'm gonna click next. This time around, I want to pick my analysis language. That's the language of analysis. That's the language I want to gloss it. Now, see, the beautiful thing about this thing is you can create actually a parallel corpora. That's a corpora that has both two languages at least, the source language and the target language. Right. So because of other things, you may ignore the more and the anthropology. They are all optional. So you can click finish. When you click finish, it's going to load in the project. Sorry. Now Flex, I need to warn you, Flex is it's a big software. Like it can be it can be big that you know to handle it. So just exercise patience for it. So it's showing this, yeah. So before, as it is loading, if you have questions, you can ask a question in the between. I'll be happy to answer them. Maybe you are practicing as I'm doing. Okay, I think that's silence for no question. Voila. So here you have it. Okay, so before I go further, somebody said Flash used for annotation only. No, Flex can be used for with dictionary building. You can export, you can build a dictionary app. I can show you that. Flex is used to build a database, basically, database. Now, is it possible to have more than one glossing language? Sir, yes, it is possible. All right, so here I'm gonna now you remember we are not just creating the data set from the beginning. We have a sentence we want to annotate morphologically. So if you are in lexicon pane here, the lexicon pane simply means that unfortunately, Flex cannot be downloaded on phone. Please, can we pause our question? Let me just round up the session so we can ask question after the meeting. Thank you. All right, so we have the lexicon pane, we have the text and words page. This is what I will be focusing on for now. All right, the lexicon pane is where you build the lexicon analysis, where you build it word by word. This time around, you click here to add word. If you want to add word, you click plus here. It's gonna load. So here you have it. Let me give an example. I'm going to create this lexeme form. This is the word I'm working on. So is it a stem? No, this is not a stem. This is a root. So what is it? This is head in Yoruba language. And what category is it? Is a noun. So once I fill this information, you go back and forth. I create. Now you see, once I create, something is going to show on the right corner here. It's loading. So something is going to show there, and then it's going to show you other pieces of information that you may need that are important for you. All right, voila, you have it. So yeah, so this is it. This is the, you know what citation forms are. You can add the citation form. You can add a lot of things to make it easier for you. You can click show hidden for it. It's gonna show a lot of fields here. Like, so this is where you are building a database. But for this course, what we are doing is we are doing morphological annotation. So we're gonna go to text and words. I'm going to explain that pain maybe some other time, but for now, so in text and word, you can automatically copy text as in copies and start annotating. And from here, you can create your word list, your data set, your dictionary without necessarily having to create the dictionary from the scratch. This is what you do. So I'm going to show you how to use a corpus tool. Pardon me, I'm looking for it. So I want you to look at this link. I'm going to put it in the chat. So we'll see how to use this link for corpus building. For now, we just want to create a data set. So how do you use this corpus tool? Now, I know that we are not developers, so we don't have programming skills to scrape the web. So I got us this tool. You see, this tool, you can use it to create, you are able to crawl the web by creating data sets. All right, so let's say I want to look at BBC Yoruba. So I want to crawl the web, but I don't code. For me as a developer, I know how to do it. But for linguists generally, we don't know how to do it. Like you don't have to necessarily code to build a data set. Right. So here, I'm gonna just pick a news randomly. So let's say this is the news. The only problem you have with this is you can't iterate it. Like you have to do it one after the other. You can't copy, for example, BBC. You can't do this. You can't copy BBC Yoruba and then think you want to just crawl the web. Yeah, no, you have to go page by page. That is news by news. So let's say I copy this news. I'm going to copy the URL. Let's say this is the news. I'm going to copy the URL. And you can do this for any language. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Swahili, whatever language you're working on. You put the URL here. You paste the link to the URL here. You can select the language you are working on. And if you don't have your language, like Rwanda is not here, like you can't find Rwanda here, you don't have to worry about that. You just have to keep Yoruba. And then once you select Yoruba, you click submit. So it's gonna load, and what it's doing is it's scraping the web for you. Automatically, it's gonna bring the content. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hide this. So if you show boilerplate simply means clickable links. So what you have here is they are links to click. They are not content. They are just links. So you want to hide them. So you see what you have here is a full news. So you copy it. So you make sure you hover around it. You don't want to have, you see this other right hand side where there's a duplication. You don't want to have it. You have to hover around it and make sure you don't have it. So you hover away from it like this, you see. So you click copy. So that is, I will just use one for this analysis. So you can crawl enough web, like you can build 500 million data sets. I tell you can keep crawling the web. So I control V here. Oh, sorry, didn't copy. I'm gonna copy it. Control C, Control V, voila. This is it. So you have this content crawled. So you want to build, now this is another way for you to build dictionary and for you to annotate morphologically, right? So let's say you have this content. Now you can gloss, you go to gloss first. You see the pen gloss, here you are glossing the word, like the word in itself. You are not glossing, you're not glossing morphologically. Adájọ́ simply means justice. So you can click here. You can add a part of speech for this word. So you will click, I will click now. You see, there are two things to do here. This one is approve for all. Then this one is approve for this option. Now, what this plus means is, if there is any other place where this word, this justice is showing, it's going to duplicate everything I did for it here without me touching it. It automatically learns it from itself and duplicate it. So if I click here, it's going to duplicate. Anywhere I see Adajo, it's going to duplicate it for it automatically. Now I want to add Kawu. This is more like, this is the name of a person. So now I'm going to click this. It's going to replicate for others. So what can we translate this as? This is an adverb, or let's call this an adverb. This is just it. Then I can call this an adverb. Now this is an adverb. I'm going to apply to all. So Y is a come. I'm gonna, this is a verb. So I'm gonna exit that. Pala share, that's a commanded. So this is a verb. I'm gonna apply for, oh, sorry, this is not a proof. So I can click it again. I can do this and then click this verb and apply to all. Where this is that. This is verb. I'm gonna apply for all. One, this is they. This is a pronoun. Now I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna, like, I can apply for all, like it keeps going. Cool. This is a negative marker. I'm gonna apply, I'm gonna call it negative marker. So this time around we need to annotate this well. So because we don't have we don't have much word to annotate it here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna click more. It's gonna load the pane. Now I'm looking for something about negation. So it's negation is it's related to verbs, right? So I can click on verbs, preverbs. You can do stuff like, okay, this is verb, voila. So it's not a transitive verb. It's not that. No, 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 no. I'm looking for what is best for me. Is it a classifier? Is it a classifier? Is it a connective? Is not a connective. Is it a determiner? It's not a determiner. Like you can keep expanding. Uh, it's not a numeral. It's not related to noun. Then the particle. Well, maybe we can call it a verbal particle. Huh? Let's just, for this case of, we can call it a verbal particle. Say we go like that. Bodo. This is actually a verb too. This is bodo. This is must. This is what this is a must, and this is a helping verb. So I can call it a verb. Fee, use. I can call this a verb. Can duplicate. I just want to use this sentence as an example. Then I would just iterate it and show you how to tag it and how to do all those things. Right? Thing is law or commandments. Then this is a noun. I'm going to apply for all. Mu, that is catch or apprehend. So this is a verb. Emefiele is Emefiele, like it's the name of a person. So you have to tag that. This is a proper noun. So yeah, you can even make it a proper noun, whatever thing you want to. Oh, this is give. This is for. And then this is a preposition, right? We don't have it here. We click more. We go look for it. This is at the position. This is preposition. Then we click add. Then we apply for all. So that's charges. So sorry, this pop up. All right. So it's charges. I want to give it a part of speech. This is a noun. Like, then I apply for all. Gun. That is charge to, or I mean, this is just this is not absolute. Huh? Just take it as a demo. Like it's I don't want to think too much. Tabi is a or, and this is or, and this is a connective, right? So I don't have it here. I'm gonna go here and click on connective. And this subordinating, this is coordinating. I'm just using as an example. It's not absolute. Or, and then Omiran, another. This is a noun. I'm going to apply to all. Uh, please, I'm just lying. This is like, let's just say this is without, it's just, as I said, as I said earlier, this is just this is a preposition. This is just a demo. I'm not, you see, in this context it's authorized, but let's just say receiver. It's just a demo. All right, I'm going to put, this is verb, and apply share is authorization. Whatever thing you want to call it, it's just a demo. Apply for. So now, what I've shown you is basically the word gloss. So here, I can do the free glossing. Now, this free glossing is basically talking about the sentence glossing. Now, what syntax we say, what level sentence glossing, like the meaning of the sentence itself. What I did is just uh, word by word. What Leipzig rule we say morphing by morphing glossing. So adájọ́. Let me just say this is a demo. Like the justice commanded that nobody should arrest. Please, this is not absolute. Emefiele for one charges or the other without authorization. So I assume this is what it means. Just forget about it. It's just a way of you learning the tools. So now I can analyze. Now this time around, I want to break it word by word. Now you see, this time around, so sorry, where was the one I glossed? Oh, Jesus. Ah. I think this is it, huh? It's number 7. It's not even the first one. Okay, yeah, this is number 7. Right. Now, I told you that if you want to build a data set, if you want to build a dictionary, it's difficult for you to build a dictionary by adding it word by word. And the reason is because it's difficult to sit down for hours. Linguists are really trying to enter the word one after the other. So I found a way to do that. So if you want to build a dictionary, this is where you can put it. This is where you can add it. So you are building data set, you are building dictionary all at once, and then you are building it in a multilingual way. You see this portion that is called grammar. Once you build a data set here, you can click on the grammar and it will tell you the summary of the morpheme. These are the prefixes, these are the suffixes, these are the root words, which you can export as linguists to understand the language you're working on. And then basically, I think I explained in the last week, where if you are using ELAN for annotation, one thing ELAN enables you to do is it enables you to work on a language you never know. Like you don't have to speak a language to work on a language. That is from a linguistic point of view. So I don't have to speak French to work on French, for example. I just have to get the data right, annotate, collect it, the data set, and then put it in ELAN, transcribe it, put it in, do interlinearization in Flex here, then go back and forth. But that is not the aim of this course. I'm going to explain that later. Now, I want to create a lexical entry. Now, this is the lexical entry. So here, I'm going to click, I'm going to move from gloss. After I've done the word by word glossing, like morpheme by morpheme glossing, I mean. So I go to analyze. Here, I'm trying to analyze it. So here, I'm going to be breaking it into morphemes. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create the lexical entry. I can click this word. You see, Yoruba is dajo. So we have a prefix here. So I'm going to click edit prefix morphing break. Now is when you are doing the morphing by morphing annotation. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to put a space. We linguists know that this is a prefix from the linguistic point of view. So it's explained here. So here you see the AA is stem. When you have a prefix, you do it like this. When you have a suffix, you do it like this. When it's an infix, you do it like this, right? When it's a supraffix, you do it like this. That is when you're dealing with the tone. So I know I explained earlier that you can have Sanya law, and then you have Sanya law, which well, some linguists explain as high tone morpheme or high tone syllable, as in lyrics like I won't really explain the high tone syllable. But for me, I'm going to take it as a tone morph, and a tone morph in the sense that we are dealing with data annotation and not the sake of for the sake of data annotation. I mean, so I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of that. You can read literature for that. All right, so I'm going to break it into morpheme. So this time around now, it's going to allow me to annotate the word, the morpheme. So R is, I want to create a new word. So this is a prefix, and this is doer, like it's an agentive marker, right? So affix type, I'm going to say it is derivational. Sorry, it's not inflectional. It's just, please just take it. The category that it is attached to is a verb, right? Then the category it changed to is a noun, right? So yeah. No, the complex form, it may not do this, right? So this time around, I'm going to click create. You see, it shows that it's moved from now, the verb to now. So dajo is a verb. In fact, I can break dajo to da ejo, but it doesn't make sense. It's not da ejo, like it's not breaking. Now da is to break. Ejo is speech or talk. So it's an idiomatic expression in this form. Right. So I'm gonna take this as an entry in itself for the sake of this. I'm not going into details here. That is George. I'm gonna keep this as a verb in itself. Is it a compound? Is it no? Is it idiomatic? Yeah. But I'm gonna keep this as unapplicable. This is just a demo. Don't worry too much. Now you see it has all the information here. So I can apply it again to all so that it's gonna break every word, and then the morpheme by morpheme clause I have here, it's gonna create it automatically for itself. So this is what you do over and over again. So you're gonna click tagging. Now this time around now you want to tag. So let me go to 7. This is where I am. So yeah, you see, I have tagged. Now you see what we have here. Now tagging, morphological tagging, it's sentence by sentence, word by word tagging. Now you can print. This time around, you're looking at, okay, how does it look like? Then you can look at text chart. Now, this text chart is actually going to show you, okay. So it's gonna show you a lot of things about it. It want to show you the inner, the outer layer, like the outer core, the inner core, I think from the syntactic point of view. But I'm not teaching that today. My aim is that you can do the data set from raw context, from raw sentence. So I put the link to using the web crawler. You can use it. You can decide to build 1 million sentences for Igbo languages without coding. What you have to do is you have to go to this link here. This link, I put it in the chart. No, I don't want to do this. So this is it. You go to the website. Let's say Yoruba. I think Yoruba has Alaroye. I don't know whether Alaroye is. I don't know whether Yoruba has Alaroye has website, but if it has a website, voila, this is it. Let's say I want to crawl all the news in Alado. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the news, then I'm going to keep it page by page, right? So now I'm going to keep, I want to know what, I want to know Ironi. So I want to know it big page by page. You see them one after the other, one after the other. So I can decide to pick this. I'm just going to pick this. Once I click it, I think somebody should be building a corpus for their language. Please, you should be. After this class, you should be. So here, I'm going to remove this URL, the URL I copy from that. I'm going to paste it here. Yoruba, you can select the language, you may not select the language. I mean, you may just keep it because you don't know the language. Like, you may just keep it like this. It will still work. At least submit. All right, good. Now, there is a problem here. And the problem is that it doesn't allow us to crawl it. So because of data privacy, some organizations do not keep their website for crawling. Okay, I will answer your question soon. They don't permit crawling, but you see a website like BBC permits crawling. And why? They are trying to protect the data set. So for you to actually use their data, you would have to reach out to them to crawl it. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to copy it. I'm assuming Already does not also to crawl it. I'm going to copy and paste the link here. I'm going to submit. You see, we chose any language. And then I'm going to hide the boilerplate. The boilerplate is just linked. So I can copy this and paste it in the document. And that is how to go for annotation. Now, when you are done annotating, so please, I will give us an assignment that we're going to do. I'm going to post it throughout the channels. So I'm going to create a Slack channel for all of us. We have a WhatsApp channel. Favor, are you on the call? Can you copy the WhatsApp group? Is there? Is in the group. Copy the WhatsApp group link and put it in the chat for people that want to join so that we can communicate better. All right, yeah, thank you. Copy, I will answer your question. So this is how to do it. So if you want to see what you are doing as in lexicon, you can click the lexicon. You will see it as automatically created. You see, now it automatically it has created the dictionary for me. So if I am doing this, I have the word list, I have the word already. I can go to file, I can export. So I can export as different formats or in different formats. I can export as Webonary, I can export at Pathways. If I go to Pathways, I think I have my Pathways here. It has different formats. So Pathways is another package you have to install. Okay, so the link to the WhatsApp chat is there if you want to join. It's loading. Yeah, so this is it. Click OK. It's going to look for the pathway. I have the pathway here installed on my laptop. So this will enable us to export it in different formats, which I'm not really here to teach that. But I want to cancel it now. It's not loading again. It's wasting my time. Right, so you can keep it as different formats. You can put it as HTML, dictionary, EPUB. You can put it as ebook. You can put it here like this. You can select style sheet, how you want it to be. Like it all depends on you. You can you can, I mean, you can put it in book format, right? So you can give the title. You can put your publisher here. can put the copyright holder and you can publish it and sell it as a book on its own. You do, I mean, put it on Amazon and sell. You don't necessarily have to. So you can go to the front matter. You can do a lot of things. You can process the option, processing option. You can do affiliation. Like you can just style it the way you want. But I'm not doing that today, right? So I'm going to go back to text and words. So I want to export the morphology tagging I've done. Now, if you look at it here, you see the sample of what the morphological tagging looks like. You see here, we have the adagio. You see, we have the negative marker. This is morphing by morphing glossing. Now I can go to analysis. Yeah. This is it. Now I can equally export this. I can go to file, export interlinear. So I can choose what I want it to be as XLM, ODT, like I can just choose anyone that works for me. And then I click export and it is fine. So this is how to do morphological annotation or morphology annotation using linguistics tool. I hope you do enjoy and you had a nice time. So now I want to take questions. So I'm going to start with the question I have here. I'm thinking the first one is, what if it is a textbook that you have a soft copy in Word document? Yes, just Control A, select everything and paste them in the text and words baseline, and then you begin to annotate. Now the second question says, I'm thinking apply for all section. Would it really work for Igbo that barely to mark all words? Yes, it will work. You want me to apply twice with different meaning in a body of text? Yes, this is correct, even for any language. Yeah, if you apply for all, it doesn't mean that you won't verify it as human. You will verify it as human. And then the beautiful thing is that the more once you have filled once you have filled this software with enough data, it begins to learn the grammar and it can perform better without you necessarily teaching it. So you don't have to be afraid. Once it works with data. So that is that. I hope I answered your question, Favor.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So do we have other questions? Do we have other questions before we call it a day? Do we have other
There is no
questions?
question from this same, sir.
Okay. Somebody is asking a question. Yeah, the pronunciation, of course. Is there a faster way to add it? Uh, well, I don't know really, but I know that when you are exporting your data set, you can have your speech in an external drive. And then if you are using the data dictionary app builder, you can use it to build a dictionary app. I don't know. I'm gonna show you that later. Should I show it now? No, we'll keep it for another session. This is already getting longer than I planned. So yeah, so to add the dictionary, the pronunciation, you can do this. You go to pronunciation here, you click this button. You can insert pronunciation, you can insert a sound file. So if you have a sound somewhere, you want to pick it up, you click that, it's gonna load, and then you are able to choose the sound file, and then in fact, you can add images and whatever things you can add there. Just explore the options you have by this right hand and think you are fine. Do you have other questions? Yeah, so you can select the audio file you want here and you add it there and then you're fine. Do we have other questions? All right. In the absence of no other question, we will meet next week. Next week, I'm going to be talking about how to put it in the dictionary app. I'm going to send our assignment in the group. Just uh, be on the lookout, and then we'll look at natural language processing annotation for next week. Maybe I'm going to touch on Flex again, but I do hope you enjoy Flex. So do let me know if you have other questions.